back corner when I'm not presenting.
Listening in.
And listen in.
Hey everybody, welcome to Bass University Live here on Tuesday night.
Take a quick break, watch John Cruz's on the Tokyo rig.
Be a part of the show, get some chances to win some awesome prizes.
This Bass Cayuga, you know, we didn't have that back then. Dude, it could just...
That text thread gives me so much energy. I mean, like I'm dialed.
Hey everybody, welcome to Bass U Live. Great to have you with us this Tuesday. There's been so much going on in the world of fishing as usual. It's a great time of year. I hope you guys are out enjoying it. Fishing is just exploding up in this part of the country. I know you guys are dealing with the postponed summertime ledge fishing down south. It's really a great time of year to be a bass angler, and I want to give a shout out to all the fathers. We just had a wonderful Father's Day weekend. I hope all you fathers had a great weekend. I was fortunate enough to have a father that took me fishing when I was 4 years old, and it changed my life. It really did. I fell in love with it almost immediately. I've spent the last 25 years working in the fishing industry, and it all started when my dad took me fishing. And I want to thank you, Dad. Thank you for that. That was a monumental part of my life, and I'm passing on. I know a lot of you guys are too, and I passed it on to my son, who is starting to love fishing, which I can't believe, because he was so addicted to video games. I'm thrilled to have him out fishing with me from time to time. But guys, we got BTC in studio. It's good to have you with us, Brian. You've been back from swinging hammers. It's great to have you back in studio.
Well, you know, Rich is away fishing, so duty calls. I want to start by thanking Pete's dad for making Pete the man he is, taking him fishing.
Yeah,
and congrats on Jake, dude.
Yeah,
got him off the stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm just enjoying it while we can, and we got a video of Jake I'd like to show. Jocelyn, when did your father first take you fishing? Jocelyn's new to fishing. See, we're taking her fishing. We still haven't caught her first bass yet. We got to get that done.
Yes, I still need to catch my first bass. Everyone keeps saying you're gonna take me out.
I know.
Well, every time you've tried, though, to be fair, I've been stuck.
Yep.
Working or something.
Well, we'll definitely get you out and get that first fish in the boat. It's a powerful thing to take someone fishing, and I want to, I know, and we're big supporters of the Ike Foundation, of course. Ike, being obviously a big part of Bass University, has started this Ike Foundation, which puts rods and reels into the hands of kids, and it's ikefoundation.org. Go there and donate. But I love the pledge at the Ike Foundation, and I don't know the pledge, so I'm going to paraphrase it, but you pledge to take someone new fishing is basically to paraphrase that, and I want to challenge everybody watching to do that. It really is a special thing once you give someone the gift of this wonderful sport. It will change their life for the better and expose them to things in the outdoors that they'll never see otherwise. So go ahead and take that pledge along with us. Do you have the...
This year, we at the foundation tournament, we actually gave every boater a bobber, and there was a pledge attached to it, and it said, "This is your pledge. This is your bobber to take a kid fishing." So we try to incorporate new people to take new people out. So we're excited.
It's an awesome pledge. I was also the unfortunate person that took 4 kids out fishing in my boat.
Oh, that's a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, it's you have to bring your patience. You got to bring your patience with you. I spent all day untangling. It was all across the deck of my Bass Cat. I had 2 kids on the front, 2 kids operating on the back, and I was dodging bullets in the middle, trying to keep hooks baited, backlashes untangled, but what a thrill to watch their faces light up when they get a hold of their first fish. But I see it queued up. This was my Father's Day gift. We were away last week, and I got this video from my son, and I just wanted to share it with you guys.
Give me 1 second.
As we're getting queued up, I'm gonna try not to cry.
All right.
Wish you were here right now. This is awesome. I'm at the, what do you call it? Oh, he fell. I'm at the, the golf course. Oh my God. Pretty decent sized fish too. Oh yeah, well, see you later, Dad. Love you, bye. Oop. Dad, I'm happy because the Whopper Plopper works. That is so good. It was out of nowhere, it just snapped. Oh, I wish you were here right now. This is awesome. I'm at the, what do you call it? Oh, he fell. I'm at the, the golf course. Oh my God. Pretty decent sized fish too. Oh yeah, well, see you later, Dad. Love you, bye. Oop. Dad, I'm happy because the Whopper Plopper works. That is so good. It was out of nowhere, it just snapped. Oh, I wish you were here right now. This is awesome.
The video, well, it looked like it did loop, but anyway, it's
Sorry about that.
It was awesome. It was super awesome. Jake is going out fishing by himself these days and hits the local ponds. We're fortunate enough to live by some little ponds he can go and get his topwater action and work out all his other techniques. So happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there, and thank you, Dad. Love you, Dad, and I appreciate you for taking me fishing. We are broadcasting to you from Tackle Direct Studios, and want to invite you guys to go check out Tackle Direct. Best customer service in the business. If you need it, it will get there tomorrow. Whenever you need it there, their customer service is top shelf, as is their shipping. So go check out Tackle Direct. You're going to love them, and we appreciate them.
And cheaper prices.
And some outstanding prices. You got to go check that out.
Yup.
What else do we got? We got with so much going on, we're going to get into. We were at Humminbird last week. We got the inside track on some top secret technology that's going to be released on July 6th. Look for this. This is going to be pre-ICAST. We filmed it. We have all this amazing stuff in action, and that's going to be available at bashu.tv, and really, really some fantastic new stuff that's really going to help you in your fishing. It's definitely going to help us. So we've got all that going on. And we've got Ryan Salzman, of course, who is our headliner for today. We're so happy to have Salzy with us tonight. He had a huge win. He's a rookie on the Bass Pro Tour, and he got a win. It was just amazing to see, and we're going to talk to him about how he did it, how he got to the level that he's at right now. So for those of you that are aspiring pros or want to just move to the next level in your tournament fishing, it's going to be a great guy to talk to because he's done it the right way, and now he's on top. And can't wait to talk to him.
And we had him on not too long ago, and he was absolutely outstanding. So it's great to get him back on. He was a fantastic teacher on that show, which is key stuff. Also, we don't have Rich here to do the promotions, so Jocelyn, you're up. For you guys on Facebook, we have a like and share contest. Let's be real here. Like it, share it, comment, get involved in the show. And we got $50 prize pack from Ryan's Swim Bait Company. Awesome. Yes. True Blue. They also made the cigarettes back in the 80s. my neighbor Mert, who used to babysit me, she smoked the True Blues.
True Blues, I remember that. Yeah. Well, thank you for that, Ryan. Appreciate the prize pack. Like it and share it on Facebook, and pay attention because we're going to be asking a question at the end of the show about what we talked about today, and whoever can get that answer first is going to be getting our grand prize pack. So let's take a quick commercial break, and let's talk Bass Pro Tour win. Let's see how he did it, and let's see how he got to this level. which is a pretty amazing story, I think. So we'll be right back with Ryan Salzman right after this. BassBoatForSale.com is the world's premier bass boat listings business. We focus on driving premium web traffic to our main website, business Facebook page, business Instagram, and our business YouTube channel, providing your bass boat listings the best buying traffic and top-notch exposure. Whether you need to sell your bass boat or are looking to buy a bass boat, it's simple. We give boats exposure so buyers shop and sellers list. One-time listing fee, no commission, and boats list until they sell. BassBoatForSale.com. Check it out.
AquaView, the leader in underwater viewing technology. Find what you are looking for. Catch more fish. Have more fun. AquaView. Seeing is believing.
Why do you love casting fishing rods?
I'm truly losing less fish.
Is the sensitivity of the rod.
That they're made right here in North Carolina in the USA. Strongest, lightest rod, 100% made here in Sanford, North Carolina.
From the drop shot rod to the flipping stick. Every rod has a purpose to it, and I rely on them all the time when I'm out doing a tournament.
Durability in the John Cruz Worman series, the counterbalancing in the handle.
It's the only rod I found that can withstand my hook set. Boom goes the dynamite.
On the water, not spent fishing is a moment wasted. That's why Minn Kota and Humminbird have joined forces to bring you the One Boat Network. Products that communicate and integrate to help you take full command of your boat. Born from our commitment to making the most advanced fishing gear even better by making it work together. The One Boat Network will help you find, get to, stay on, and catch more fish. When One Boat Network products talk to each other, they can navigate your boat automatically. They can give you a crystal clear view of what's below with no messy wires. And they can let you lower, raise, and change shallow water anchor modes from anywhere on the boat. But that's just the beginning. We're never done innovating, integrating, and making your boat simpler and easier to control. All so you can make every second on the water count.
Welcome back to Bass University Live. It's the frog days of summer. It's a great time of year to get subscribed and learn at the Bass University. We have the greatest frog fishermen on the planet teaching at Bass University, and all of that instruction is available. No better time than the present. You get 2 Terminator walking frogs. You get a Bass University camo hat, and you get 20% off an annual subscription. So go check it out. It's a great time to get signed up for Bass U if you haven't done that yet. Plus, all of our IM guys, we got a great grand prize that's going to go to one of our Bass U subscribers that's picked off of our IM board.
Yes.
For the winning answer to the question. So
yeah, I wanted to hear some good questions on the IMs today. Let's hit Salzy with some juice.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it, because this is he's a guide, full-time guide. He's a tournament angler. He's come through the ranks. He's been there. He's done that. So let's talk to Salzy. So without any further ado, Brian, let's bring him in. This is it's his rookie season on the Bass Pro Tour, and already he's a champ. He's won big, won $100,000. Veteran of the Bass University show. Appreciate you being with us, the champ, Ryan Salzman. How are you, buddy?
And I'm doing great. Just taking it all in and doing as many of these kind of shows as I can, and to teach people and spread the awareness of bass fishing.
Wait a minute now. There is no show like this one, Ryan.
Like it. They attempt to be like it, but there's only one Bass View.
I just realized how bad we screwed up. So last time we had Ryan on, talked about, man, we got to hire him. And now I went and won. That price just jumped.
Is that true, Ryan?
I'm going to have to hire a manager. I think I'm going to have to get with Sarah Parvin, the closer, and let her kind of manage these prices for me now. So because that's a little out of my pay grade.
Give me a call, Sarah. We got to get things. We got to get things worked out.
Yeah, call me too.
Well, hey man, we appreciate you being back on the show. It's been great. You're always fun to talk to. You're full of energy and enthusiasm. Love that about you, and it just came through the camera when you were going through your big moment out there. I gotta say it was emotional, and it was entertaining, and it was so fun to watch.
Man, thank you. I mean, I look back, it's such a blur. I think obviously that the more seasoned you get at this, the more you can kind of separate yourself from the moment. But there was a lot of emotions at the same time. You're trying to focus fishing. So literally I tried to tune out everything, and I was just trying to focus on fishing. And so I don't know, it didn't even seem kind of real. There were so many boats behind me cheering me on. It was like one of those dream come true surreal moments, but I knew I needed to focus on fishing.
It's the hardest thing in the world to do, right? You're in this big giant moment, and but it doesn't matter. You got to make those fish bite, and you did that, right? I was looking through your history of fishing dams. You've got a lot of experience with this type of fishing. That's what you were doing. You were fishing the upstream side of the dam to win this tournament, right?
Yeah, I call it the high side. So it's the high side like of Chickamauga Dam.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something I learned how to do in college because, we really didn't have any electronics when we first started. We had some John boats, like a 1989 Ranger, and we'd fish these night tournaments out of Safety Harbor on Wilson Lake. And a lot of times we'd idle around the corner and just start fishing that dam wall. And we would catch them pitching drop shots and jigs and top waters and flukes. And I just spent a lot of time on the high side of that dam. And lo and behold, Watts Bar Dam fished identical to it. The only real difference was the bait fish was a lot smaller.
Yeah, I saw that you commented about that. And the fish were, these weren't giant fish, but they were extremely competitive for that time of year.
For sure. It was by far the best feeding area that I found on the entire lake. And there were some big fish there. The bigger fish are obviously a little bit smarter. And I hooked a few throughout the week. I had a 3-pound meanmouth there. And ironically enough, every one time I hooked one over 3 pounds, it just got off. I don't know why. Day 2 of Group A, I hooked like almost a 5-pounder and another one that was probably almost 4 there. And they just got off at the boat. The only thing I can figure, so I did make an adjustment to my drop shot hook. I started out using a little bit of a smaller drop shot hook. I'm not even sure it was a number 2 owner wide gap owner wide gap. And it's the smallmouth hook I use because I was catching a decent amount of smallmouth there. And for some reason that hook holds smallmouth really well. Then all of a sudden, I started catching largemouth with it. And I don't like that hook for largemouth because it just doesn't have enough bite. So as soon as I lost the 5-pounder, I switched to the Gamakatsu Aaron Martin's G Finesse number 1. I only got like 2 left. I went and grabbed that out of the boat and show you guys. But as soon as I switched that hook, I didn't have another issue landing largemouth. Just as a little bit more bite. I was thinking I was getting a little bit of a skin hook, and I could actually feel it rip out on those bigger fish because I was actually fighting them in current, and you're having to kind of pull a little bit, and they just rip off.
Oh man, well, it's fortunate. That's it's interesting that you say that because everybody says that in order to win, you got to have everything go perfect, but that wasn't the situation here, and it seemed like it was your tournament, and there was nothing that was going to derail you.
Man, I knew that final day. I got goosebumps just now thinking about it. I started off, solid, and every day of competition, even the knockout round, I only had 2 keepers going into the second period. And that day I had 4 keepers going in the second period. And one of those catches, I knew it was going my way. I hung up my drop shot, and I go to get it, and I'm on top of it, just shaking the heck out of it. And all of a sudden it goes thunk, and I'm like, what the heck? And I just lean, and like it didn't go anywhere because the drop shot weight is hung, and there's a fish on it.
Oh, no.
I'm like, oh my gosh. And he's hung, so I just kind of pull as hard as I think I can, and I tie a little bit weaker of a knot on my drop shot weight, and the knot broke on the drop shot weight and not the knot on the hook. And I landed that fish, and it was like a 2-pounder.
That's awesome.
Dude, it was so cool.
Yeah, it's going to happen. That's awesome what you just said there. That's a sneaky little trick, right? You want to make sure, because it's funny because you're never going to be in that situation again, but if you ever are, man, you got to have that knot fail at the drop shot weight. What's the difference in the knots that you tie?
So I tie a reverse clinch knot a lot of times. This is the rig. I haven't even unrigged it. I got a lot of spinning rods, but this is the rig I was using. And I actually ran out of Titan Tungsten 1/8 ounce because I only had like 8 of them, and I was fishing some gnarly stuff. So I had a lead one. A lot of people get these pinch on weights. I don't know if you guys can see that. So that's a pinch on, but I take a hook and I open it up, mainly because pinch ons fail too easily and you're just going to lose all your weights. So I open that pinch on up, and then I basically tie a reverse clinch knot. Now, a normal way to tie a reverse clinch knot is 5 to 7 wraps. I only tie 3 on a reverse clinch knot.
Sneaky.
So it slips through if you pull hard enough.
Oh, that's sharp. That's sneaky. That's Bass University speak right there, Ryan. That's good stuff.
Man, it was so cool. I never even thought it would come into that play. Wow. You basically do it to get your hook back so you don't have to re-rig and you just put another weight on. But it just so happened to work out. It was able to get a fish it back.
It's going your way.
See, I tie a
that happens.
On the bottom of that pichon, was it French? Pichon?
The pinch.
Oh, pichon. I just tie a granny knot, just an overhand.
Yeah.
And then do the pichon.
Yeah.
That'll work too.
A little half hitch on the top.
But I haven't won 100 grand yet.
It's whatever. Everyone's got their thing, man. It's just easy for me. I mean, it's like some people call it a speed knot, and you don't have a lot of line to work with, unless you leave a lot of tag, which I usually don't. There's just a little bit of line, and I'm able to just swing it around real fast, and it's just a quick way for me to do it.
Yeah,
I like it.
I saw it looked like Morning Dawn Robo style worm. What was the bait?
Is this right here? It's the 4.5 inch Morning Dawn, and man, it's funny how it all comes together. I was going in that tournament thinking, I had come off kind of a bomb at Ozarks. I had a great tournament in the sense that I had a great heavy hitters fish. Day one, I had 4 fish for like 18 pounds. I had a 5th one on that would have given me like 5 for 23, which is a giant bag at Ozarks. And day 2, I bombed. Like, I didn't bomb, I just didn't land them. So I kind of learned a lesson at Ozarks that I really need to quit targeting like these big fish ways that I do 5 fish tournaments. And I was like, I'm just going to pick a bait that I can get bites on, and it ended up being a really tough tournament. So I was coming off of guiding on Pickwick Lake and Guntersville Lake all the week before. I literally guided every day before that tournament. The only off day I had was the travel day, 2 Watts bar. And the key bait on the ledges was the 4.5 inch robo worm. And I just had a bunch of them. Now, ironically, in practice, I didn't use it. I did a lot of scanning. So day 1 of practice, I went up to check the other dam below Loudon, put in like 10 miles below the dam up there and started running. The water got dirtier and dirtier as I got below there, and I didn't like it. And I noticed the water temp up there was like 71 degrees, which to me was like, could be good. And honestly, my first thought was go in the pocket, see if there's largemouth still up shallow, for that cooler water. I never really had a bite up there doing that. So I just left, went down towards the other dam and got down there about 2:30 p.m. and they were sucking the right amount of current during the week. And there was just minnows all along the high side of that dam wall and bass eating them. But long story short, I figured out they'd eat a drop shot and a little swim bait. Now, the original drop shot bait I figured out they'd bite was a crosstail shad in the 3-inch version in purple smoke purple.
Okay.
So I go in there, day one of the tournament, you're always like, all right, I know what they're going to bite right from practice. You have it tied on. I get there. There's Cody Meyer, Randy Howe, Anthony Gagliardi, and Keith Poche tries to come in. Like 5 boats try to start on the face of that dam.
Murderer's Row.
And dude, some of the best, finesse suspended fishermen, Cody Meyer. I mean, there's not one that you can probably think of mine that's more dangerous for those techniques.
He's a game rooster.
Right. So, ironically, I got on this place that I wanted to get, thankfully, and I think I was the only one to catch a keeper while everybody was there. And I actually caught it was a smallmouth on that crosstail shad, and then I just couldn't get bit. Then all of a sudden, I was like, you know what? There's this whole bag's just sitting there, and I was like, I got nothing to lose. I was like, I tied that on. I just put it on my drop shot, and instantly started catching them.
Awesome.
And Cody left. I went right to where Cody was and caught a couple keepers, and then everyone just left. And it was pretty typical of how dam fishing plays out. If you have the confidence to do what you're doing up there, most people are going to leave. It's just,
it's tricky because you're in a tournament where they know what you're catching. They can see that you're catching them, and they can see the weights that are coming in the boat for you. I would think that guys might stay a little longer or battle you a little harder, but I guess, well, obviously that didn't happen. I guess they were trying to figure it out and just couldn't do it in time.
Yeah, so you had to keep pace, for that turn. I mean, it was like 2 to 3 keepers every period you would have to keep pace with, and I was averaging that. Anthony Gagliardi stayed the longest. He stayed all the way through the first period. He was on the far side, and I was kind of on the more towards the left side of the dam. And he stayed about through an hour or 45 minutes in the second period, then he left. But he's the one who stayed the longest because he saw me start catching them. And he was making adjustments down there, but just catching a lot of little fish. I can't tell you how many little fish we were catching. Day one, I probably caught 70 fish.
Wow.
Insane amount of fish. And just, I can't tell you how many pound 4 to pound 6s, just long, skinny fish, which is kind of another topic we can talk about later. But you had to go through some numbers to get a keeper there.
Now, you said suspended fish, where these fish were hanging on the wall, so that's why you have that real light drop shot weight. You weren't trying to get to the bottom.
No, yeah. Most of my bites came within 4 to 6 feet, of the surface.
Okay.
When they weren't up schooling. So later in the day when they would run current, the minnows would kind of get on the wall and they'd be chasing and whatnot. And the bait I used for that, I used 2 baits. This is kind of ironic and stupid of me. And it's just the irony of the situation. I started catching them on the 3.5 minnow. However, I only had like 1 pack in the boat, and they're so popular in that area. I went to every tackle store trying to find more of my baits, and they were all sold out. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to have to go throw a Kitech on TV owning Drew Bass, which I didn't care. I'm a swim bait guy. I love all swim baits. So the Kitech became the main player at the end, and I was throwing the 2.8. But the reality is they would have bit either. I caught them on both. I mean, you can see they're identical profiles.
Yep.
I just ran out of them. They were too popular.
I would suspect they're even more popular now.
Probably. I mean, that lake has so many little bait fish in it. I don't know what kind of, I wish I knew what kind they were. I need to research that. But I mean, they were like 1 inch long.
Wow. And they would come up in school, and you'd fire the swim bait on them, and when they weren't schooling, you'd hit them with the drop shot.
Correct. So there was kind of a progression each day, and it's so cool because I fished a lot of dams, but I've never fished a 200-yard stretch 4 days straight, which is kind of crazy. So anytime you do that, it's crazy how intricate you get to learn it.
Right.
And there was a progression each day. Each morning, they wouldn't pull that much current. And the minnows would be about 20 yards off the wall, about 10 feet down. And you could just see the cloud of them on your active target, just chilling down there. And then the bass would be on the wall. a few would be set up on the wall to eat in the morning, and you catch a few right off the bat. And then the second day I really figured this out. I started looking at my active target more. They would the bigger ones would stay about 15 feet deep, just kind of cruise off the wall, and then lazily come up and just grab a baby fish or two and then go back to the wall when the current wasn't on. So I started taking this robo worm, and I had another drop shot rob of 3/16 just to get down to that 15-foot zone a little faster when I would see one. And I'd see him coming, and I'd pitch ahead of him and kind of lead him, let him swim into it. And I got some bites doing that. And they were real lazy. Two of them like bit it off to here. And I was like, oh my gosh. So what I ended up doing, I would feel that bite, and I'd just give him a little bit of pressure until I feel him like suck on it harder. And then I would set the hook. So in the morning, I actually had to like feed him the drop shot a little bit longer to actually hook him. And ironically enough, I had some of this in the boat. And the reason I got it was because I saw Patrick Walters throwing it when he won Watts Bar. I was like, doesn't hurt. So I'm sitting here throwing at these fish, and I would see a lot of those fish come off the wall, and they wouldn't eat the drop shot. I'm like, I don't have anything to lose. I soaked that sucker on it. First one I see that didn't eat, he didn't eat it. I was like, I shoved a bunch on it, threw it at the same fish, ate it.
No kid.
I was like, oh my God. I got goosebumps talking about it. It's crazy how well it worked.
Yeah,
I keep hearing about that bait fuel.
I've been messing around with it a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, not sponsored by, just got it. I got it from Michael Neal's tackle store. There were like 2 bottles left. I bought the last 2 bottles.
Yeah.
And it wasn't every time, but it was enough that where my boat official was like, I'm convinced. Like, even he was like, that's crazy. Because, I'd see, I would later in the day, I'd see him on the wall even. Like they'd be on one of those metal pieces, and I could see a bass sitting there. Flip at him, nothing. Squirt a bunch of bait fuel, flip at him, donk.
That's awesome. Jocelyn likes it on her salad.
It's true.
Really?
Delicious.
Going into
so
days,
it's water based, so it might spread evenly, even coverage.
Right. Going into days 3 and 4, did you soak your bags in it?
So I took a whole bottle. This is my other one that I didn't use. I took almost the whole bottle, and I put it in a bag like this, and I just shoved all of it in there. But I did learn a lesson. I can pass on some knowledge. Do it with only of the amount of worms you think you're going to use that day. So after you soak it in the bag, the next day, it's going to kind of congeal and not be as liquid based. It's going to be more gel. So to be the most effective, I think you do 5 to 7 worms, and squirt a bunch in there so you can just take them out and then kind of replace them as you need them.
I got you.
Good stuff. Yeah, love the scent, and keep hearing about that. But you're fishing suspended fish. There was a couple things. You basically called your shot, like, you were waiting around, basically just as you described. It was finicky, tricky to catch them, and then suddenly you're like, when they turn that faucet on, I'll be able to catch like 10 to 20 pounds, and that's exactly what you did. Just as soon as they turned it on.
Oh, it was so cool because, when you fish dams, you know what can happen. What can happen and what will happen sometimes is 2 different things. And it really, I call it the TVA gods. It's up to the TVA gods.
Right.
And the TVA gods are in my favor. Now, they actually changed the generation right at the end of the day, but I'll kind of take you through it. In the knockout round, they pulled the exact perfect generators to get them to school. And we actually had a rain delay that day, which gave me longer to even catch them. So the knockout round was just phenomenal. I actually stopped catching them once I got like 23 pounds because I knew that would probably get me in. And the championship round, they started pulling the right generator about noon. And they started schooling even before the sun got on the wall. So like a big key was the sun getting on the wall too, because so the bait fish would start out at about 10 feet. And as the sun would come out around that wall, it would be shady and then it would come around. The bait fish would pull higher and higher, just like they do in the summer. You get on the surface eating that plankton and the bass would start feeding on them. Right. But the current was so perfect that it sucked all the bait fish up into that wall earlier, and they were even schooling in the shade. So I got the Wheeler was ahead of me by like 11 pounds or something, and they started schooling, and I just started working on them. And I was just having a blast, just doing what I love to do, throwing that schooling fish. And halfway, or like an hour in the third period, or maybe not even that long, 45 minutes, they stopped sucking out of that one generator and started sucking out of another. A generator they haven't sucked out of all week. which totally derailed the pattern that I was fishing on that corner. It totally moved the bass. What it did is it sucked the bass and the white bass into this one little pocket around the corner. And they were all in there gorging, but they were literally 500 to 1,000 white bass. And I couldn't even pitch a drop shot in there without snagging a white bass.
Wow.
It was insane. So I basically had to give that up. And that's what you saw me do right there at the end. I was kind of spinning just for a second because I knew I was trying to force that swim bait because they were schooling. I was like, I don't know why they stopped, but I felt my boat start shifting another way. So I just let it shift and I just floated and kind of looked at the current, realized it wasn't right, and then started pitching the drop shot along the wall and I was able to get another keeper. But man, it was a mental grinder because if I hadn't gone through everything I've gone through up until that point, I don't think I could have stayed calm enough to just make that decision and make the change.
It was awesome. And we're gonna share some questions from our IM board in just a minute. But that I could see you caught that fish and you overtook Wheeler. And what was that? 15 or 20 minutes left.
Yeah, someone said 26 minutes to go. I caught that fish.
Oh man, but that 26 minutes had to be like watching paint dry. You're like, it had to move so slow in your mind. What was that like?
Like that, run my face right there. That's kind of how I felt. I was reliving it there for a second. And what's funny is I was getting more bites, and you kind of saw the what I was going through. I caught, I think 2 or 3 more fish after that one. Anytime I would hook a fish, all that feeling of like suspense and dread would go away, and I'd just be in the moment catching the fish. And then after that was over, it would kind of sink on your stomach and you'd feel the pressure again. And yeah, I don't know, it was meant to be because any of those fish I caught in the end, they were like pound 4 and one was like a pound 6. If they ate some more minnows, they would have made it, you know? I mean, it's great.
Oh man, there's a phenomenon that I noticed in tournament fishing is when you're not catching anything, time moves like at twice the speed. Like when you're lost and you can't figure out a pattern, it's like all of a sudden it's time to check in, you know?
Yes.
And then when you're having a day like, you know, other days it's like it goes so slow. You know, you want it to end, and that had to be what that felt like right there. Just, come on, can we just end this right now and end the pain? But
yeah, man. So it's funny you mentioned that. And I've noticed that, you know, on guide trips too. Anytime you're not catching them, you're just pressing and trying to figure them out. But when you are catching them, it seems like you have all the time in the world. It's like you're just in the zone, right?
Yeah.
You know, time kind of slows down.
Yep. That's exactly, man, that's a great way to say it. That it slows down like the baseball players. Yep. The baseball all of a sudden looks like the size of a basketball, you know, when they're starting to smash it. So, but that was super fantastic. And the one other question I had for you, which was really cool, and Scott here, Bash, you mentioned, said he must have a hell of a keel guard as we watched you drive the garbage off of the dam wall. Did that save you? Did you just get in there? I mean, did you need to do that? Did that help you catch them there? You got to get that debris off the wall?
There's no way I win that tournament without doing that every morning.
No, every morning you did that.
Every morning I did it. And I don't have a keel guard. Those wet logs don't do anything to your boat. I mean, You do way more damage beaching your boat or running sand flats. Yeah, because they're just kind of soft logs.
Right.
But I really wasn't even using the boat as a battering ram. It kind of looks deceiving what I was doing. I would go pretty quickly at the logs, and I might bump a few, but I'd shove it in reverse real hard using the water flow from the mercury. The prop wash was shoving the logs forward.
No kidding.
Yep. So I would get under them, kind of push them out, and then I'd go forward and let that, that current from that mercury is pretty strong. I don't know if you ever, got behind one, if you, safe distance, but it throws a lot of current.
Right.
So I would get there every morning. There'd be some open spots. The trash would be sitting in the eddies. I'd fish the open spots, catch the active ones. And after that, I would take 10 to 15 minutes and just go along the wall, do my things. And I don't know if they showed it on the drone, but I would get inside of my trolling motor on a lot of them and shove them out too. Yeah, I wasn't always on the big motor doing it, but
so you had to
take them out.
You had to maintenance that wall throughout the day.
Yes, it was mainly in the morning. Just in the morning. Once I did it, the wall stayed cleared. Because what would happen, at night they wouldn't generate very much, but in the morning they would start generating, and that when they don't generate a lot, all the trash congregates to where they're sucking into, right? And there's kind of like an eddy vortex there where it sits. So in the morning they kick the current on, so there's current sucking into down to cross towards the wall to the right, but the eddy's still there, so the trash doesn't want to move. Now there's current flowing on the outside of that trash just past it. So another pattern we do on Tennessee River is the bass will be under those logs, and you can like float a fluke under there and just switch it, and the smallies and largies will come out and eat it.
Right.
But these bass were too tight to the wall to get them to bite like that. So as soon as I would push the trash off the wall, the current that was out there would sweep it down to the corner.
Nice.
So I would just get into and try to shove it out as far as I could, and then the current would just drag it down to that far corner. And then, sometimes there'd be like a log or 7 that would be left just kind of along the wall. There's several pictures of me, I would go up to the wall and literally pick them up, put them on my boat, and then I would taxi them down to the corner and just throw them all off.
On the Wheeler's spot.
On the Wheeler's hole, yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
Good thinking.
It's funny, BTC, this is very similar to raking mats. Did you ever hear of raking mats? Guys would go out on the mats when you're punching and rake them to create holes, create spaces where they could, fish because the mats were too dense.
Sure.
Yeah, moving the habitat around, that's not talked about very much.
With a rake?
Yeah, with like an actual, like not a leaf rake, but
hard metal rake.
The hard metal tine rake. They would go out and rake the mats. That was interesting strategy. What else? And there's guys out there moving brush piles around to change the habitat too. A lot of interesting stuff going on out there. But I know a lot of our boys are watching, Jocelyn, and I know there's some questions for Ryan. What do you got?
We have a lot of questions actually. Joe from Bass University wants to know, Ryan, how many units were you running when you had the best bite?
Units of how many units were of the current? I'm assuming he was asking. I think it was 4 or more.
Okay.
Of the units.
4 or more generators.
Correct.
At any time did you try to negotiate with the dam operator or offer any revenue compensation?
No, I never try to bribe them. I do have the TVA dam number, and I would call the first day of the tournament. I call them on the break. I call them. I said, "Hey, when are you?" Because this was so crucial into me staying on day one. Because all I knew about that dam is when they would run current in the afternoon, I could catch 20 pounds. That's all I knew. So I was banking on staying there until that happened. And I call him on day one. He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna start generating 3 at 11." What was keeping me there was I would have like a couple bites a period with that drop shot. I just figured out a way to kind of keep pace. And so having that guy's number and calling him was pretty key to making that decision to stay.
How many guys do that?
I don't know, but I feel like I probably was the only one in that tournament to call the generator. There's a scheduling guy's number, really is what it is. And he has all the generation schedules for the TVA. And if you call him, he's the friendliest person ever. And he knows why you're calling, and he'll give you every hour what they're going to run and when they're going to turn it up.
That's awesome. It used to be that's what we would do. Back in the 1700s, we would have to call to get and they would have an automated voice. At 9 o'clock it's going to be 4 turbines. At 10 o'clock it's going to be this. But now it's all internet based. So that guy at the dam probably doesn't get the calls anymore. So he's probably just happy somebody's paying attention.
Right. And sometimes the apps are wrong. That's why I call, because sometimes the apps are wrong. And I didn't want to make a decision without hearing it from the horse's mouth.
Dude, that's
there it is.
There it is. There's the winning move right there.
Yep.
No doubt. That damn operator.
Eddie Vortex had a question on it. Right?
Eddie Vortex.
Yep. I thought that was a great name. Sorry.
Well, more questions though. Can you explain your schooling fish technique?
Sure. Basically, they were eating the smallest minnows I've ever seen in my life. Like, it was the equivalent of bait fry. However, I don't think it was fry. I think it's this type of minnow they have on the lake. And it was so hard to get them to key in on your bait. Basically, I would fire this as many casts as I could in there and hope it's in the area when the wolf pack would come up. And just by statistical odds, I would eventually get one to engulf it. And it was kind of funny. There were some times where I would throw it in there and I would have like a flurry. Like maybe there weren't as many bait fish on the wall at that moment and they were able to key in on my swim bait easier, you know. But when there was a lot of little bait fish in there, it was very, very difficult. And there were even times in the knockout round, there were so many bass along the wall. I'm not trying to snag them. I'm just throwing down there reeling. I would feel one like hit it, lean into them, and I would have them snagged like in the head, or I hooked one in the belly. And it was just crazy. Never have I ever snagged fish with a swim bait, like just trying to eat it. You know, they're coming up, just doing that.
That's a dense school of fish for sure. Did any of
Yeah.
the other competitors ever come back in? After day one they were all done?
No, yeah. Connell released the video. He was fishing the dam as well, and he never went to it during the championship round, which I was super thankful. And if he had, you know, that's the thing. I even contemplated not going there either. But if the knockout round didn't go the way it did, I probably wouldn't have. Because you got to think, if you just look at the weights leading up to it, you're going to think 30 pounds is going to win. If you wanted to try and win, which I think is what Connell did, he's like, and he's this real competent, running up a river, flipping, skipping, pitching. I'm sure that's what he did. He's like, I'm going to try and win. I'm going to go up there, try to get on a stretch and run up the scoreboard. And the dam was all I had. And I was like, there's no way I'm abandoning that. I know the winning fish are there if they bite. So I just gave it a chance, you know?
Right. What was the water clarity?
It was super, it's actually super clear. 2.5 feet. I mean, it's pretty clear for TVA. You know, only place that I know it gets clearer than that is Honeycomb on Gunnersville. I mean, it gets 4 and 5 feet, you know, there.
Honeycomb Creek. That's way down at the lower end of Gunnersville.
It is.
Jocelyn, let me throw it to you for one more IM question, and I kind of want to switch topics.
Okay. And just a reminder, you can ask questions on our IM board if you become a member to Bash U. So sign up and get your questions in.
And win the grand prize.
And you can win a grand prize as well.
And I am a member of Bash U. I've been a member for like, I don't know how many years. I want to say 7.
You can win your own prize pack.
Hey, I'm going to comment, Ryan, what'd you do?
You could have used them.
Yeah.
You're an OG member. That's awesome.
I am, for real. Like,
awesome.
I would be even my first year on tour, I would be driving to events. I'd look up a pattern I'm thinking about doing there and be getting like, you know, spun up on like for Rayburn. I'll never forget. I'm listening to stuff on Rayburn and brush piles and different things, and it's all good.
Man, that's great. That's the best testimonial we could ever have. We have another Bash U
Sign up for
member
Bash U and win $100,000.
$100,000. There you go.
Simple as that.
No, you say that, right? So we can cut
If
it.
you sign up for Bass U, you're going to win $100,000. Sign up today.
Yes.
There it is. You write that time.
All right. Riz,
timestamp that.
Cut that immediately. Joss, let's send him one more.
Okay. A Bash U subscriber, Jay Henfish, wants to know, how does he float a fluke under stuff?
Okay, this is pretty cool. So it's the same way I would float a swim bait or a drop shot. Basically, you can float any bait under something. You just got to play the drift, kind of like Kentucky windage, right? If you're going to throw a Frisbee and there was a wind, you would need to lead them, right? And that wind's going to kind of carry it. The current is just like wind. I'm going to throw an appropriate distance for whatever current they're running, right? So let's just say 20 feet to the right. I'm going to let it sink down, let that current sweep it. I'm going to kind of feather the line, kind of just like fly fishing, mend it a little bit, keep it up to the surface so it doesn't get too deep. I'm kind of just popping that rod up and that current sweeping it. And as it gets to the logs or whatever, I'm going to kind of twitch it. I'm going to twitch it up and then let it suck back. And you're going to be at an angle kind of in front of the trash or whatever you're trying to float it under. Where I do this with docks a lot too in current. And you'll be kind of ahead of the dock or the trash pile, and you'll just be twitching. It'll kind of skip out and then go back and then skip out like it's a minnow trying to get out of the trash. And those bass are just sitting under there. It sees that, and he just comes up and eats it.
Yeah, yeah, that's great stuff, and a great win. And it's awesome that you mentioned that you're part of Bass U. We appreciate that, and glad that you use the product to help. But you got kind of emotional, I noticed, when you won that tournament. You took a moment and you really didn't take any shortcuts in getting to this level. And I was fascinated by that because I appreciate that, from fishing where you started to you spending time as a co-angler, but you didn't skip a step. You did the work.
I did, man. I literally, if you could draw a plan for a nobody to become a pro fisherman, that's the path I took. And it all started when I met a buddy of mine, Nick Cups, in college. He had a bass boat and he wanted to start a fishing team at UNA, and I was all about it because I saw it on TV. I knew that's what I wanted to do. I just didn't know how I was going to get there. And we did the college fishing team at UNA, got my first bass boat, and got a lot of great experience in college, just, getting your feet wet. It's just you're getting your feet wet in tournament fishing, and you have a partner to do it with, right? And now that goes down to high school fishing. The sooner you can start, the better, because this is what I tell all my clients and my kids that I teach. It doesn't matter how well you do in high school or college. It is a training arena to get you better and to get the experience that you're going to need for after. It's great to win, and your skill level is that where you can win at those levels, even better. But I worked my way up through college, and I was, trying to figure out a career path that would lead me to become a professional fisherman. I was a music major, believe it or not. I played the drums in college.
No kidding.
Yep. And I kind of got burnt out on that. I was thinking I was going to fish in the summers, and that's how I was going to do it. And I kind of ran out of money for school and college. And my parents were military. So I decided to join the military and get my school paid for and make that commitment. And then I contracted ROTC at UNA. And kind of through all of that, it's funny how everything happened. We were doing the fishing team, and I got invited to help with a guide trip my senior year. And I made $400 in like 5 hours. And kind of the light bulb went off for me. I said, I'm going to be a fishing guide. Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, I can get all the time in the water and get paid. And so I actually had switched to a marketing degree when I went into the military side of things too, because I had learned, from watching, guys like Bass U, that you need to be kind of sponsor savvy and sales and stuff like that. So that kind of synced up with it. And I used a lot of my marketing knowledge towards my guide service. Fast forward, I graduate, guide a little bit, started out as Salzy's guide service. Okay. And went off to military training, got deployed for a year, went over to Kuwait, Iraq. And while I was over there, had a lot of time to brainstorm and think. And I'm sure the Bass U guys are very familiar with this term, SEO, search engine optimization. So I brainstormed a lot while I was over there, and I came up with the title Alabama Bass Guide because it was very Googleable. It's an innate term that if you type in Alabama Bass Fishing Guide, I'm going to pop up, even without putting much content on my website. So I did that. And when I got home from that deployment at the end of 2013, I was booked about every day. And that's kind of how I just hit the ground running, guiding, started fishing the BFLs. First BFL I fished, I got third in. And then I had a lot of obviously worse tournaments after that, but just started cutting my teeth. I think I fished the BFL 3 years before I won my first one. And ironically enough, the first tournament BFL I won on Guntersville, April 18th, was on the swim baits I started that year. It was the True Bass swim bait 4.5, had like 32 pounds, and it really just kicked off the True Bass swim baits business. And yeah, man, you just kept running with it.
Well, that's true. That's an amazing story. Now, you didn't tournament fish until college. That's where you started.
That's where I started. Was in college, man. I always, like, you can ask my parents. I saw, when I was 11 years old, I saw a professional tournament on TV. It was FLW, some sort of tournament. And I just knew that's what I wanted to do. And I would come home after school and get on the dial-up, and I would be on, I remember bassresource.com, and I would read every article I could. And I just did that for years. I would pond fish. I'd ride my bike to ponds. I went to everywhere I could. My parents didn't fish. I'd make them drive me places and take me fishing. And that's kind of how I learned. And the college fishing was really where I turned to kind of the corner to learning the really starting to get the details of how to target bass, better.
Right. Did you spend any time as a co-angler? Did you jump right into the front of the boat?
Yes, so that's a good point. In college, when I did the college fishing, I marshaled as much as I could for the Elite Series. Mm-hmm. And then I was fishing 2009 and 10. I fished as a co-angler. And I think actually my first co-angler event, I finished third. This is a cool story. I have told this on Ike Live the first time I was on there. This is a cool story. I'll make it pretty short. I was consuming as much knowledge as I could. Ike used to have this tip section on his website, and he was talking about long pause jerk baiting, and he would count 1001, 1002, 1003. I read that article the night before my first BFL as a co-angler. It was at Pickwick Lake. We were in the horseshoe. The water was like 71 degrees. It's amazing how I can remember this stuff, but not where my keys are. I'll get up there. I catch like a 4-pound smallmouth on a Fat A bomber crankbait, and then they kind of quick bite, and my boater's not catching anything. I have this Rapala X-Wrap in Glass Ghost come floating by the boat, and it's like brand new. Some other co-angler must have casted it off that morning, and I pick it up. Another hour goes by. I don't catch anything. I tie that sucker on. I remember what Ike said in the article. I throw it out there. I rip it down 3 or 4 times. I start counting. I get to 12, like a 3.5. And I'm like, oh my God. I don't have to run the boat. All I have to do is focus on my jerk bait and count. Like I would count to 15 every time. I jerk it down, count to 15. And I had like a 6 something that day and had like 18 pounds out of the back of the boat. All because I read an article on Ike's website and found a jerk bait.
That's amazing. That's impossible to find the jerk bait that goes and wins the tournament for you on top of it,
Dude, I don't know if people believe in God, but I have seen God work in my life through fishing in many, many ways.
That's wild.
Man, that's an incredible story, and you went out of your way to say that exact thing when you won this big tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I could not have done it without him in my life. I'm telling you right now. And probably the greatest testimony I could give was last year. I was going through some health stuff. When I qualified for the Bass Pro Tour, I was having I have hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's, and it totally zaps your energy like you have no life force. And by the Potomac River last year, I could barely cast. And finally got on some medicine that was starting to help. And I actually almost had a top 10 finish at the Potomac. I had like half a day of practice. I caught 1 6-pounder on a jig on a pole. And then I was in like the ER the other day, and then the tournament started. And all I had to go on was that one big bite. So I took that jig and I ran poles with it. And I had a really good bag day 1. Day 2 made the cut. And then I caught like a 6-pounder on day 3. Ooh. That put me in like 12th place. It was just nuts. And I'm telling you, it was everything I could do to just make a cast. But I say all that to say, like, I would just be praying all day. Let me finish this day. God, just let me finish this day.
Wow.
Just cast by cast. It was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. And just to be in that shape health-wise and qualify for the Bass Pro Tour, I know that was a bigger plan than my own. That's just, you know what I mean? I can't put it any other way.
And now we can see what you're doing when you feel good.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm amazed that you have that difficulty. I guess you have things under control, because every time I've seen you, man, you seem like you're full of energy. Seems like you're bouncing off the walls.
Yeah, man. And I am. It's kind of like I have an off and on switch. But last year was like, people that knew me. Like I would get tired walking in and out of the boat. Like I had to have people help me carry my bags up sometimes. And it was crazy. You know, I lost a ton of weight, and but just really happy to get that figured out. But to be, you know, there's times when you feel great making all the right decisions and things don't go your way. And through all that, like I kind of something I left out, I decided to read all the New Testament once that sickness kind of started. And I read all of that last year, and it kind of finished it when I was at the St. Lawrence River. And it was just really cool to see all that come together.
Well, it's wonderful to see you moving in such a strong direction, you know, spiritually, physically, now financially.
It helps a little bit, for sure.
It's amazing. What do you got, VTZ?
I was just wondering, anything in particular that you read in the New Testament that sticks with you that you kind of carry through on tournament day or in a tough situation?
Absolutely. So basically in the New Testament, you just learn how to walk with Jesus and you learn his life. And basically what I take away from all of it is my mother always preached. I wear this on my wrist. It's Philippians 4:13. And she taught me that at a young age, but I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, which I don't think there's any better way to put it, even like that Potomac tournament and all the other ones. Like I was just leaning on him to get me through those events. And to lean not on your own understanding, because his ways are greater than your ways, and just go out there and perform at the best of your ability and do it to the glory of God, and the results will take care of themselves.
Well, that's tremendous testament, and you're carrying it with you, and it's just a wonder. It's a wonderful story. It's wonderful to see someone like you have that success, and it's an inspiration to all of us. My friend.
Well, and I'm not perfect. Like on camera, like sometimes I slip up and say a curse word here and there, but I just get excited.
Yeah,
you know,
I have to say I heard a few things on the live show.
Yeah. I don't even. So you forget the cameras back there. You get excited. I was in the military for 10 years. It's a part of me. It's hard to kill. You know what I mean? So.
Hey, I'm from Jersey. They teach us those words in kindergarten.
Yes, I understand.
So but you could tell, you know, you were letting it go. You were in the moment, and you know, you were just being you, and that's
it.
Yeah, that was really cool. How much do you credit guiding to your success at this level?
I think all of it, because I noticed this my first year on tour. I even said it to several of my buddies. When I guide, I feel more pressure on a guide trip than I do when I'm competing by myself. So every day over those 8-9 years I was guiding before I made it pro was basically training me to feel the pressure I needed to get on fish every day.
Right.
So
that's a lot of pressure. I mean, I do it. It's as much pressure to get customers on fish as any tournament.
Oh, when I feel it, as any tournament or more so, because and it's more of a challenge because you have to quickly learn that person's personality, their strengths and weaknesses, and make a bait choice for them that's going to put fish in their boat,
right,
or in your boat rather, and their boat for the future. You know, that's why they're going with you to learn. So it's exhausting. Like, you know what I mean? I'm sure when you get home from guide trips, Pete, and you're more tired than you are from tournaments a lot of times. It's because
no question.
It's mental, it's physical. And when I started doing the tournaments, it was like taking the ankle weights off. You know, it was just easier.
Yeah. Wow, what a great way. Because I feel it too. You know, when you're every day you're under that pressure, under that lens. So on tournament day, it's like, well, this is just another. I do this every day. This is no big deal.
And you just have to worry about you, which that's the biggest. That's what I love. It's like I don't got to worry about making sure they land and whatever. It's just all on me. I just get to go be me and have fun and fish.
Yep. This was something that I said because I think it has helped my fishing a lot. Because decision making is everything in tournament fishing. Is like you're deciding to go to that dam on the last day when you were wavering on whether or not you're going to do that. But when you're out teaching and guiding, you have to practice decision making every day. Like most tournament guys only get to practice that when they're under the pressure of a tournament. But as a guide or an instructor, you have to you're making those decisions. You're practicing those decisions all the time. So under the heat of a tournament, when you got to make a tough call, it's not that hard anymore. It's like, I've done this before.
Right. Yeah. The more you do something, the better you get at it. Right. So, and the more dialed you stay when you're not in the tournaments, just like you said, it's just easier. It's just, all right, there's a left turn up there. We're making a left turn. We just go where the road takes us, because the more you try to control fishing, the worse you're going to do. You need to accept that it's going to change, and you're going to need to change with it. So just be open-minded. Use practice kind of as a guide lane for you. You got a basis, and just know that just how you figured it out in practice, you're going to have to keep doing that every day.
And subscribe to Bass University.
It's going to help you figure those fish out every day.
Every day. Well, it's man, it's awesome, and congratulations. I know, I can't imagine what's next for you. Will you be coming to ICAST? Will we see you down there this year?
Yeah, I'm going to come to ICAST. This is my first year coming down there. I'm super excited. Never been, so it's just going to be an experience. I think it's July 19th through 21st?
That's right. Yep.
So you guys are going to have a booth down there?
Yeah, we'll definitely stop by and see us.
I definitely will. See you down there. And I'm actually leaving Thursday to go to Cayuga. That's the biggest thing this win does. It allows you to compete even harder by going and practicing the lakes that you're going to, especially with gas prices going up. And I've never been to Cayuga. I've never been to Mille Lacs. So I'm going to take the next month and a half to go pre-practice those lakes.
Did you see the big news on Cayuga Lake?
I didn't. What was that?
The new state record smallmouth was caught last weekend. Not Father's Day, but the previous weekend, with an 8-pound, 5-ounce smallmouth.
8.5 ounce?
Is it? I thought it was 8.5. I don't know, but it's 8 something. Well, I thought it was 8 pounds 5 ounces. What I thought I heard, but it was part of a 30-pound stringer to win that tournament.
Was it all smallies?
All smallmouth.
And Pete tried to get the guy on the show. Tell him, Pete.
I wanted him on the show to talk. I wanted you to be able to 2 smallmouth guys.
True.
You're Tennessee River smallmouth guy. I wanted the northern, catching the record. I thought it would be great, great dialogue, and it would have been.
However,
however, I believe secrets want to be kept on exactly how that went down.
And it's probably a good thing, just because of the no information deal we got going on. I feel like it would be treading too thin of a line.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah, I did. Well, I didn't even know that until and the information I gave is all public, right? That's all.
Yeah, right.
Public.
No, yeah, that's all public. But like if we did have him on and he'd be telling secret, I don't know, it'd be a weird.
It's in public.
Vibe.
Yeah, it's also public. I would have liked to have tested those. It would have been fun to have him on. But an amazing fish. Oh my gosh, it looks like a dinosaur.
That's amazing. I've caught one
Caughted.
8 evens. I've caughted one 8 even smallie below Wilson Dam, and it was in 2018, and that was probably the best year I've ever seen up there. But it was a brick. It was 21 and a half inches long, and it was like 22 something and a half around.
Oh man,
like
wow.
Crazy. I'll send you a picture of it, Pete.
Oh, we got to have it. We'll post it. And the what is the state record down there in Alabama or Tennessee for smallmouth? What is the record down there?
So the Wilson Lake used to hold the world record back in the day. It was like 11 pounds something.
Wow.
And then it was beat somewhere. I don't know where it was beat, but
that's huge.
It's massive.
11 pounds. Can do.
Wrap my head around 11.
Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine. It must be like brown, must all be washed out. It has wrinkles on their face. I can't imagine what it looks like.
Gray hair.
Looks like one of Sarah Parvin's nuclear bluegill.
Jeez, them things are ridiculous.
Like the big forehead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cro-Magnon.
Did you see that Havasu bluegill that was 5 pounds?
Red ear?
Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah.
Was that a red ear?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know the species. Green sunfish, red ear, bluegill. I don't know. Pumpkin seed. But it was 5 pounds of some type of panfish that was caught out of Lake Havasu. Just freakish.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes. Well, I'm optimistic. When is the tournament on Cayuga? How quick are you guys going to be up there?
We got a little break. We'll be competing August 6th, I believe it starts. So we'll kind of leave right at the end of the July and get up there, practice for 2 days, and then start the tournament.
Okay, good. Because all the new state tournament or the state smallmouth chasers are up there now, so they'll
beating on them.
Everybody trying to break that record again. So I guess by August that ought to be calmed down a little bit for you guys.
Right. Yeah. I just hope they haven't sprayed the grass up there.
Right.
Yes, I know. We heard that before the BFL last year. I fished the BFL up there, and the Army Corps came in and sprayed for navigation purposes, and it literally wiped out all the grass on the north end. Yes, I'm talking to you, Army Corps. Knock it off. Let the grass grow. We want it back. We want that lush milfoil that grows for miles up there, and so hopefully that's back this year for you guys and for the lake.
Yeah, for the lake. Yeah, and just a great fishery.
Yeah, sure enough. 30 pounds of smallmouth. Hey, congratulations, Ryan. What a great win. Thanks for taking the time to be on the show, man. It's really awesome, and we're going to be watching you up at Cayuga, and where was the other one? Up at Mille Lacs. Mille Lacs. That's over in Minnesota, which is another amazing smallmouth factory. So good luck. Thanks again, and people want to follow you.
That was really weird.
That was awesome.
What did I do?
No on you.
Look at his camera.
Cut these little hands.
Well, I noticed your TikTok channel's blowing up. I know they can follow you over there. What's your if people want to follow you, how do they do it?
At Ryan Salzman on TikTok, and Instagram is ALBassGuide_meme-lord.
Awesome.
Meme Lord.
Meme Lord. I got some memes up this morning if you want to go check them out. They're pretty funny.
All right. We're checking them out, man.
How big was that meme mouth you caught? 3 pounds.
3 in the tournament was 3 pounds. Yeah. It was pretty cool. Yeah. Now on Pickwick, I've caught like a 7 1/4 meme mouth.
Why didn't you name your TikTok channel Alabama Bass Guide?
I wanted to have something more personal. I have branded everything around, my guide service. And with the transition to professional fishing, I didn't want to switch my Instagram and Facebook over to it because I think AL Bass Guide is kind of synonymous with me. But I also wanted to kind of have a personal brand social media.
I got you.
Well,
I like meme mouth.
I do like meme mouth.
Somebody will steal it.
Do it.
Well, keep crushing it over there and out on tour. And thanks again, buddy. I appreciate you being with us. The champ, Ryan Salzman. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
What an awesome win. That's really cool. Really cool stuff. I can't wait to see those guys get up to Cayuga and see what they do. Of course, them big smallmouth are going to, like just a puff of smoke. It's
disappear.
It seems like they show up for the springtime spawning tournaments, and I don't know. That lake's like 300 feet deep.
What?
Do
they get pelagic there?
I believe they do. I believe they're following bait fish down to 100 feet, 200 feet. I don't know what they're up to. You see good smallmouth. You do see quality fish caught throughout the year up there, but just not like you see this time here. It's insanity. I mean, 25 pounds and up. You'll catch a 23-pound bag of smallmouth and will not make a check.
You hear that, Joss?
In those tournaments.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Truly amazing stuff.
She can't believe it.
It's hard. But, if we get you on Cayuga, you will catch your first bass on Cayuga Lake. That lake has more bass in it than any lake that I've ever seen.
300 feet, huh?
What's better to catch, a smallmouth or a largemouth?
Yes. love them both. Smallmouth. A lot of people say smallmouth is their favorite fish because they pull a little harder. Yes. Pound for pound, they're a little bit meaner. But hey guys, did you check this out? This is the Champions box from Major League Fishing, who we just had the Major League Fishing champ, the Bass Pro Tour champ on. But the Bass University is part of the Champions box, so we've got a lot of great stuff. And if you have a Champions box, look in there. We've got a really cool opportunity for you waiting inside the Champions Club box.
Are you opening that this week or no?
We're going to open it next week.
Next week.
Next week.
Looks a lot like Dunkin' Donuts holiday, like the Christmas time box of donuts.
I wonder if there's Boston cream in there, maybe.
Yeah, I like Boston cream. Jelly.
Yeah.
Jelly.
Glazed.
Ew, you like jelly?
You don't like jelly?
Oh, no.
How do you not like jelly?
Nope. Nope.
What's wrong with you?
That's a staple.
Yeah.
Jelly donuts.
Come
man.
on.
It's a South Jersey thing. Come on.
Is it?
I think.
All
My
right.
folks loved it. We always had those. But
So what do we got left, Pete? We got to give away our Facebook like and share and the grand prize, which is a True Bass $50 pack of swim baits, 2 frogs that look like a lot like that, and a Bass U T-shirt signed by Jocelyn.
I have the Facebook like and share winner.
Fire it up.
The Facebook like and share winner is Bradley Stringfield.
thank you, Bradley, for hanging out with us. Can you believe Salzy has been a Bass U subscriber since virtually the beginning of Bass University?
7 years.
Yeah, that's when we kicked off. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. When we launched the streaming service. I mean, we've been operating seminars for 13 years now.
13?
Yeah.
Wow.
And but we started streaming our seminars. Geez, that's like 7 years ago now.
Wow.
That's amazing. He was one of the first guys. We're gonna have to send him a care package. Jocelyn, you're in charge.
Yes, I'll send him one for sure.
Yeah. It's so awesome. We have to keep records of this, BTC. We've got classic champs. We've got Elite Series champs. We've got now Bass Pro Tour champs. All not just teachers. These are people that are using the product to bring their fishing to the next level. And you can too. Right now, like I said, go over to bassu.tv and get yourself subscribed. And it's a great time to do it right now. We have 20% off an annual subscription, frogs, and a Bass U hat. And it's just really it's rewarding to see our guys using the product at the highest level and guys using our product to be able to catch fish consistently at the farm pond. And it's all right there at Bass U. That's why we make it. And makes you feel great to hear someone like that use it.
Yes, indeed.
You know.
Are you at 1,000 seminars?
We are.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, there's not much left. We gutted a kitchen yesterday.
Yeah.
And today's like roughing all the electric and the plumbing, and so I got to get going.
Okay.
So I got guys on the job sending me pictures. Oh yeah, there's 240 volts in this box.
All right. Well,
like,
you helped us out today. We'll come to the job site with you.
Yeah. Got a task or two for you. We still have to give away our grand prize.
All right. We got a grand prize question.
Do you?
Oh, I've got one. But I thought you had one prepared.
Well,
but
yeah.
I'm along the same lines as you. That would have been my question.
It is your question.
Oh, I got to ask it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the deal. And this was Bass U. Guys, you were listening to it. He has a really sneaky knot that he ties.
Oh, I know this answer.
He ties on his drop shot weight. What is that knot? What does he call that knot? And how many wraps does he use?
I know part of the answer to that, but I don't know the full thing.
Oh, you need to know the
so
full
you're gonna
thing.
have to send me the answer.
I'm sending Jocelyn the answer right now. But that was really sneaky, really great Bass U stuff.
You know what I wanted to ask him? If he felt there was a difference between tungsten and lead on his drop shot weight.
That was a good question. He ran out of tungsten and forced to use lead, so it seemed to work. But yeah, I wonder what the difference would have been, especially because he's suspended fishing, right? You would think that would really matter if you're like transmission bottom contact kind of fishing, but I don't know. We'll have to save that for the next one. I did. I sent you.
Her name's
I sent you the
Jocelyn.
number of how many. Did you get that? Yes.
Okay.
That's our high tech information transfer over here at Bass University. By the way, the Humminbird stuff is coming out, guys. It's unbelievable. I want to give a shout out to the folks at Humminbird and especially at Colo over there for hosting us and showing us this amazing new stuff. The entire Humminbird facilities are both Minn Kota and Humminbird are expanding. They're working hard. All of that stuff is built and assembled here in the States, and they're just hustling to get all the orders filled, and you are going to want to get your orders in for this new stuff that's going to be dropped on July 6th. So look for that coming real soon. I got the opportunity to fish Lake Michigan, as did Scott, in Sturgeon Bay, Green Bay. Saw Lambeau Field for the first time in my life. Caught a bass out of Lake Michigan, and now I only have Lake Superior left on my bucket list to catch as far as the Great Lakes go.
Road trip.
Road trip. That's quite a road trip. Oh my gosh! They say this is interesting. We were talking about Lake Superior because all the other Great Lakes have big, giant smallmouth. Lake Superior has an abundance of them, which I didn't even think they did because I thought it was too far north. But they're not big. They like catching a 4-pounder is a big deal, but there's lots of them. Like the fishing is untapped, and it's a great little fishery.
We have a winner.
Also met the guys from Tactical Bass. I want to give a shout out to Matt and Tim, who I met on the trip, as well as our good friend Ken Duke from Fishing Tackle Retailer was at this event with us. Shout out Ken, who was responsible for most of our trivia questions.
I wonder if you can catch a smallmouth out of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
I bet you it might be too deep.
Might be.
It might be too deep. But we did talk a lot about the shipwrecks.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Matt from Tactical Bass is kind of an aficionado of like all the shipwrecks that have happened over the years. And there's actually, I can't remember the name of it. There's a cut through in the islands in Green Bay. It's got this deathly name because the current and the waves build and have sunk a ton of ships trying to get through those narrows. I can't remember the name of it just now. I'm going to have to look it up.
Yeah.
But, Josh, we have a winner?
We do. Howie won.
Howie. All right. Howie Raines. Always good to have Howie. Howie is always with us at Bass University. Been to so many Bass University classes. And congrats on winning that prize, my friend. It's great having you guys with us. We're going to be back next Tuesday with another Bass University Live, so look for that. We'll keep you guys posted on what we're going to be diving into. We have some interesting things that we're working on I think you guys are going to like, and we will keep you posted. In the meantime, thanks, Josh. Thanks, BTC.
You got it, buddy.
I appreciate you guys. And
thanks, live studio audience.
Thank you, Ryan Salzman. Congratulations, and thank you, the folks at MLF, for the Champions Club box and allowing Ryan to be on the show with us. And we'll see you guys next week. Another edition of Bass University Live. We'll see you later.
I'm at the what do you call it? Oh, he fell. I'm at the the golf course. Oh my God. Pretty decent sized fish too. Oh yeah, well, I'll see you later, Dad. Love you, bye. Oop. Dad, I'm happy because the Whopper Plopper works. That is so good. It was out of nowhere. It just snapped. Oh, I wish you were here right now. This is awesome. I'm at the what do you call it? Oh, he fell. I'm at the the golf course. Oh my God. Pretty decent sized fish too. Oh yeah, well, I'll see you later, Dad. Love you, bye. Oop. Dad.